In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make nearly $5,000 a month from a email newsletter with Beehiiv. Imagine making close to 5K every month just by sending email newsletters. Pretty freaking awesome, right? So in this video, I'm going to break down how to get started, how to use the latest Beehiiv features to monetize your email newsletter. And I'll also show you some creators who are already crushing it with Beehiiv, making a ton of money. For those of you who don't know, which is probably the vast majority of you, I often help clients get started on Beehiiv with email newsletters, either as creators creating a new revenue stream or as part of their top of funnel or middle of funnel monetization strategy. And on top of that, a couple of years ago, I was one of the first content writers for Beehiiv. We connected and I ended up writing over 165,000 words for their blog. Sounds insane to say out loud, but that was a little while ago. Since I've covered anything on Beehiiv, they've added a ton of new features and I've worked with a whole bunch of clients, of which I'll show you one now. So this was a client that reached out to me. She is a recruiter for software engineers. And so she wanted a vibe codey or a code looking design for their website, as well as email newsletter templates. So this was the homepage that ended up being designed or completely built within Beehiiv. And then these are some of the articles that ended up getting published. I should say newsletters that we ended up writing, that I ended up writing for her. And you can see the styling is pretty cool. Again, all native within Beehiiv using their newsletter, their template builder. You can see there's like the latest news here for AI and then all the job postings. Looks pretty cool in my opinion. It's one of the better looking newsletters out there. So what you want to do is you want to get started. Let's say you want to start your Beehiiv newsletter, head on over to the Beehiiv homepage, start your free trial. There's a few plans to choose from. Most people will go for the max plan. However, getting started for free is fine, but you just don't get some of the cool stuff like email automations, etc. And you can't do some of the custom build stuff. So I'd recommend getting started on the scale or max plan. An affiliate link will be in the description below for you if you wanted to get started. Also send me a message or reach out to me in the email below if you need help getting started. Okay, so how do you do it? You want to start with setting up your whole entire newsletter. I'm going to breeze through this because I want this to more be about how do you scale. And so to get started, you need a pre-launch prep. You can come over to here and grab it here. The link will be in the description below to this article. Do a bit of research, plan some content, determine how often you're going to send your newsletter, how you're going to brand it, what's your values, what do you want it to look like, what do you want it to sound like. So I talk a certain way, perhaps you talk a certain way. Use quirky words or your self-deprecating humor is often a win in my books. And then come over here and get this checklist and that'll have everything you need to get started. Once you start, how do you get people to come to your newsletter? It's a good question, especially if you don't have an audience. Start building one and then post on all the socials, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and then have some type of lead magnet. Lead magnet is so vital. I'll get to that in a second, but here's an example of what that looks like. In this Get Started blog is a lead magnet. So here's a little bit about me. I'm the founder of Inbox Connect Marketing Agency. This is my agency here. We're Beehiiv experts. We do email newsletter marketing, AI automation, and a whole bunch of digital marketing strategy stuff. And what you want to do here is, as you can see, this is a checklist, right? If you want the full checklist, enter in your email and download it. We've now got your email. You're now in our email newsletter, right? Very simple. Lead magnets are very powerful. Here's what I mean by that. Lead magnets can be done separately to Beehiiv or within, which is a little hack that a lot of people don't know about. In Beehiiv, everyone, if you're using it, knows about polls, but polls can be used as a lead magnet. In fact, the Soulful Entrepreneur newsletter used polls specifically within Beehiiv to amass like tens of thousands of subscribers. It's actually a crazy case study. And then Seed Phrase Daily, which says crypto insights, they leveraged TikTok to grow their newsletters to thousands of users through lead magnets. So what are they? And let's give me some actual examples, Russ. I hear you. Right. Free offers, the most common lead magnet. Again, I'll let you read this in your own time. Checklists are another really good lead magnet. Let's say you're a fitness coach and you have the 15 carbs that are destroying your diet. put it into checklist, or the 7 S tier glute workouts that people aren't using. Put that in. That's a lead magnet. Give it away for free, or create a checklist on how to do it. Another one is give access to a private community, product samples, toolkits. But the most popular are free ebooks, free subscriptions, webinars, templates, quizzes, free audits, or trials. They're the most popular. So I'll let you read this. For now, as enough talking, let's dive into Beehiiv and break down how you're going to start making money. To paint a quick picture for you guys, this is on Beehiiv's newsletter ad revenue calculator. Let's say you've amassed 10,000 subscribers. You're sending a newsletter every day, which, by the way, isn't that hard anymore with AI to do this. You're getting a 54% open rate. That's pretty normal if you have an engaged audience, and you're making $30 CPM. All the CPM is cost per mile. It's like 1,000 impressions. $30 is pretty reasonable. You're going to make 4,860 estimated revenue on ads. And that's only ads. There's other ways to monetize your newsletter. So that sets the tone. Let's look at some other ways that so Tyler Dank, the GOAT, the guy literally started Beehiiv, founded Beehiiv. He has a newsletter, and then he also releases product updates, which you can just Google, find ChatGPT for, you'll find them. And one of the best ways to monetize your newsletter is through subscriptions, paid newsletters and subscriptions. People will pay to subscribe to your stuff if it is valuable enough. Here's an example of what that looks like. You can have a free version, then you can charge $5 a month and they'll get some other stuff. Or you can charge $50 a year at a discount, and that'll drive more. That just increases LTV, AOV, and all that sort of stuff. So that's another way. Here's another example of how to do that. Jennifer did that as well, which I'll talk about in a second. Here's how to grow your subscription base. What does all this look like in the back end? So just to repeat, this is what we want to be doing. We want to create valuable content and lead magnets that attract the right people. We want to drive them to your newsletter. Then you want to monetize that audience through sponsorships or by selling your own products. What makes Beehiiv fantastic for this is that they've already done all the heavy lifting, and they've built a lot of this stuff into their platform. You don't need a whole bunch of different tools that you forget about, that you're still paying for subscriptions for, that you don't use, right? Beehiiv is a one-stop shop for monetization. So here's the exact features that you're going to use to monetize your Beehiiv newsletter. The Beehiiv ad network that lets brands come to you. You can accept or reject sponsorships directly from inside your dashboard. What that looks like over here is if you come into monetize and ads, you're going to see, for example, Insight Software wants to sponsor one of the newsletters here. For the client of mine, they're paying $7.50 per CPM. And based on the number of subscribers, if we were to send that out based on clicks, we're going to get $30. Nothing to write home to mum about. It's just an example. Another way you can do this is through direct sponsorships. This is where you set your own rate. So this is actually where it gets really interesting. What you can do is create ad slots or shop fronts, and you can sell placements directly with brands in your newsletter. So what that can look like here is if you've ever opened a newsletter and you don't want to run an ad, you want to run your own direct sponsorship, you can actually come into Beehiiv, click on ads, click on products, and set up what's called a shop front. So you'll build out your shop front here, and then you'll add your products and then build out the shop front. So what this is for this particular client is you get a feature in the newsletter highlighted at the top. You get a logo, 150 words, a TLDR, and et cetera, and we're charging $600 for that placement. The calculations are all based on how many subscribers and clicks you have. Or you can do a monthly package. What that looks like in real life is Beehiiv then gives you a page for the direct sponsorships. And this is all updated organically. You can see that we have 8,000 subs at the moment, a 40% open rate, a 3-click. And here's the numbers here. This will change depending on when we've sent newsletters. Paid subscriptions, we touched on that. But if you come over to monetize paid subscriptions, you'll see here the number of paying subs you have, how much you're making, etc. You can launch that simply by here. And that was what I just previously showed you before in the examples of Tyler's email that he throwed out. So you can charge a free version, a $5 version, a $15, whatever it is. Some really good examples of people who did that is Jennifer here. She did that when she started, and she ended up making about $16,000 in 4 months from sponsorships, paid subscriptions, and direct sales. The Geek Out newsletter also did something similar. They have 31K subs and they've earned about 25K using Boost, another monetization within Beehiiv. And then Chloe made just a measly 250K in a year with frequent ad sponsorships, right? So there's some serious money to be made. And here's those boosts that we just mentioned here. You can read more about that in product updates. When I was writing for Beehiiv, I've covered these frequently. However, they've rolled out new versions like the shop front, which is why I wanted to highlight that first. Yeah, it's something that I also help clients with. There's a bunch of other people that will help you get these sponsorships as well if you don't have the time. There's a way to outreach to certain people. You put together a media kit and start sending that around and talking to your network, and then you'll attract sponsorships that way. The best thing about Beehiiv is that they're relentless when it comes to consistently updating features and adding features or improving their product. So for me, they are by far the best email newsletter platform. Aside from monetizing your newsletter, that's one thing. How do you grow it outside of, let's say you're limited to time and the amount of videos that you can make or lead magnets to build to grow this stuff? Beehiiv still has the best internal tools to help you grow your newsletter organically. And that is through recommendations, boosts, a referral program, and also magic links. But let's focus on these three. So recommendations. So this is where you recommend other people, the people who subscribe to yours newsletters to other people's newsletters. And by doing that, the law of reciprocity, hopefully they'll also recommend your newsletter back to their subscribers at some point, and you can drive a whole ton of subscribers to your newsletter that way. Boost is like a pay to play. You can pay to have your newsletter boosted or promoted by other people, and you can do the same for other people. So that's a really good way. So how does the math? Okay, I ran through it already, but let's say you have 20K subscribers, you're crushing it. You run 2 ad slots per newsletter, and you send only one newsletter every week. You're getting a $20 CPM. That's about $400 or $800 a newsletter or $3,200 a month. This is ChatGPT math, so hopefully the math is mathing. The point is it's very achievable with 10 to 20,000 subscribers, which, don't get me wrong, is still a crap ton of work to get. However, if you're one of these YouTube creators that doesn't have a newsletter, what are you doing? Come over to Beehiiv, sign up, get some help to set it up, and you can start adding an extra revenue stream to So the strategy and growth advice. So as I said, you want to run through, pick a niche, develop lead magnets, funnel some traffic. You want to set up your onboarding flows and your email automations and your funnels. And then you want to set up all your monetization. Then you want to get sponsorships. Then you want to do some cross-selling. And then once you've got that sorted, you're a well-oiled machine. At this point, you want to start optimizing, testing, and seeing what else works too. Perhaps you want to run some paid ads to get to that next level of growth. So in closing, it is very realistic to make about 5K a month on Beehiiv as a creator. With the right audience, lead magnets, and strategy, you'll be able to grow your newsletter to 5K a month as well. Once again, I've helped several clients hit these numbers. I've written over 165,000 words for Beehiiv's blogs. I've got a playbook that's rinse and repeatable for a setup and monetization strategy. If you want to launch your own newsletter, reach out. Happy to help. But I thought I'd just make this quick video as a reminder for you creators out there that your top of funnel and middle of funnel should be supported with an email newsletter, and the best platform for that is Beehiiv. Once again, there'll be a link in the description. It's an affiliate link. I'll get a small cut if you sign up to Beehiiv using that. And yeah, hope you got some sort of value out of that. It was just a quick one. And if you want to see more videos, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.